So it's all change again. Out of the sandals and into the boots. I've deadheaded the roses, buddleia and cosmos for the umpteenth time, picked the dahlias, and so have a moment to reflect on the garden this year, and lots of it seems to be about water and wildlife. It all started when the frogs came out, and based on their singing and antics, I incorrectly predicted the end of winter and the beginning of spring. More fool me and the frogs. It then rained and snowed and hailed for at least another 2 months. The day the toads came out to mate was the day spring temperatures really arrived. So I've learned to ignore the impetuous frogs and watch for the wiser toads. On the planting front, the major project, but mini front flower bed, has been a roaring success, with something in flower since planted. Now it's the roses repeating, the anemones, the hydrangeas, and even an astrantia reflowering. It has completely vindicated my rash step to ditch the ubiquitous privet hedge and experiment with flowering plants in this north-facing bed. And a key element has been the water butt I put on the side of the bay window. If not for it, I'm sure many of these plants would not have survived, because it's such a hassle bringing water through the house. All I need to carry now is an empty bucket. But it's really the pond that is the heart of the garden. The sound of the stream brings the whole place to life and detracts from the noises of southwest London. It provides a home for the fish, toads and frogs, and a place for birds to wash, as well as attracting an array of insects. The fish also provide a potential and actual source of food for the heron, so I have a water scarer, which is by far the most effective heron, cat and fox prevention tool I've come across. Obviously, the planting is key for the wildlife too. We've had an array of different bees this year, across a range of plants, but it's really the Verbena bonariensis and the buddleia that have proved most popular. And not just with the bees. We've had peacock, red admiral, and common butterflies, as well as the whites and blues. This summer's star guests were the speckled wood butterfly and Jersey tiger moths. But we've also had a vapora moth, this is the larvae, and an old lady moth, and many other wonderful insects. So now, as we cool down in September, the spiders are out. The fish are swimming lower in the pond, and the birds and beasts are preparing for the next cold spell. The blackbirds are eating the abundant rowan berries, and the mice have come out to stock up before winter. This one is stealing bird food, but I've just seen one eating the remains of a snail. Somewhat shocking, but I suppose they are mammals and omnivores. They and the plants are telling me it's going to be another cold winter. There are lots of rowan berries and honeysuckle berries and hips everywhere. And the ivy is getting ready to be the last season's food for the insects and birds. The frogs are lazing around the pond, but what do they know? What I need is a wise old toad to advise me, and they seem to have gone. Perhaps they're already hibernating. So if there's one thing I would recommend to anyone for a garden, it's to add water. A pond makes all the difference, but even if it's only a bird bath, it'll bring a wealth of wildlife and hours of enjoyment.